Hi, welcome to part 2 of the Costi and Blue Chip London Daytona retrim video. Firstly, thank you for all your views and likes that you gave on YouTube and Instagram for the last video that we did. We're down here at Orourke Coachtrimmers in Horsham. We're going to show you around, we're going to have a chat with Robbie, we're going to tell you a little bit more about the car. Hope you enjoy it. As I mentioned previously in the last video, Mrs Nancy Hanson actually ordered this car when it was new in Verde Pino Matallizato. Ferrari SPA had discontinued that colour option, so she then went ahead and ordered Pino Verde Matallizato with a lovely beige interior, and she went for a stereo, she went for an electric aerial, and because she ordered it early in the production run, early in 1970, it actually turned up as a plexiglass version, which she hadn't actually ordered, so she was lucky enough to receive one of the 36 right-hand drive plexiglass cars from Ferrari SPA. She actually had a 330 GTS at the time that she had also purchased from Maranello Concessionaires. And she actually part-exchanged that car for this car, which, if you look at it now in monetary terms, that would be a very bad trade because a 330 GTS is so much more valuable than a Daytona is now. But having said that, I think a Daytona is a wonderful grand touring Ferrari built in the 70s. You know, it was a supercar of its day, it really was. At the end of Mrs Hanson's ownership, she part-exchanged this car with H.R. Owen on the Brompton Road for a 308 GT4. Jimmy Matsumiya owned the car from 1974 to 2013. He was the second owner after Nancy Hanson. He was the team principal for Suzuki, and he had actually won the Isle of Man TT in 1963 with the two-stroke engine. And this car was a gift to himself for that victory. We're now going to talk to Robbie and see how he's getting along with the retrim, as it's nearing completion, and we'd love to show you around. So here we are again. Robbie, it's great to see you.
How you going?
I'm good. How are you getting on?
Brilliant, perfect.
Have you had fun doing the job?
Yeah, this car is a testament to the car. Everything's come off the car and gone back on original screw holes, and it's not fortus at all. It's been really...
Which is nice, and you know, I think it's very telling of how original the car is, because we've all seen Daytonas that have had some checkered histories, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
there would have been a period of time where these cars weren't loved as much, or, you know, cost effective to keep correct, and bigger screws were being put on door panels and shortcuts, you know, stereo holes and alarms gone in. None of that on this one.
So tell me, how many Daytonas have you retrimmed
I've just
in total?
asked AJ, I had a count up, 37.
It's quite a lot of cars, quite a lot of experience and quite a lot of product knowledge you've gained there.
I'm still learning all the time.
So do you still find when you're taking them to bits that you find new things that you hadn't sort of known about before?
For instance, on this car, the handbrake gaiter, not having a stitch line round, you know, so this is a great car to see that's maybe was missed at the factory, that's how it left the factory, but that's a fact. To say they're all like that, you know.
So it's a real testament to it actually being a hand-built car.
Yes, totally. And when did these little bits change? You know, so in between chassis numbers, it's nice to know that kind of data.
The reason that we chose this colour was because we were up at DK and I saw the beautiful Dino that you retrimmed very recently, which was a Chairs and Flares GTS right-hand drive with this colour leather. It was blue outside. Oh, yeah, Do you remember that car? Yeah. We loved the colour so much of the leather. I actually think this is my favourite Ferrari
colour leather.
Yeah, I really love it.
It looks bold and strong, and I agree with you, on this combination it really stands out. You
know, and actually on the modern cars, like, I've actually seen a few 812 Superfast with this colour interior, and it looks really good. So I love it that they've carried on the tradition, and that you can still order some of these original colours. It's rather nice. Yeah. So talk us through what you've done.
As you can see, we're almost finished with the interior. The seats are ready to go in. We're doing an open gate gear shift on this. We're going to make that. Originally it came with a boot, but this customer would like to see the gate, as many do.
Which I think is quite cool.
Yep. He's also gone for the original style carpets in the original weave, but a custom colour. So it sits harmoniously with the outer paint and the orange cabin.
And it's actually quite a good match, you know, they contrast. They're not exactly the same, but they contrast quite nicely, I think. It's going to look really smart.
The dash, in the end, we retrimmed it with the original style material, and all the black vinyl seals and all the back cabin has been redone in original vinyl.
Tell me, that dash material, that wasn't available for a long time, was it?
No, and then various people, it's actually like a Dino vinyl with the grain, but it's been flocked. And in the old days, if you bought that new and retrimmed the dash, it would go beige almost in the sun over course of a few days.
Yeah, we used to see a lot of cars in the early 2000s that had retrimmed dashes in leather.
Yeah.
They didn't look great.
That, Alcantara, and also back in the early days, these screens used to leak, and on Dinos, so you get water lots across the dash. And then they'd fade very easily, so you could still open the glove box to see where they were furry, and then the whole dash would have gone like vinyl.
And actually, people wouldn't realise, but the dash is aluminium, isn't it?
Fiberglass in these ones.
Fiberglass, but okay, so
earlier cars went aluminium. 275s, we see fiberglass dashes and aluminium.
So how well does a Daytona interior wear?
How quick?
Yeah, how well does it weather
Again,
with
how
age,
well
with
it's
time?
been looked after. It's left out with UV rays hitting the leather and cream, not putting on it, or garage stored and the car looked after.
Yeah, the storage makes a big difference, doesn't it?
We're still seeing cars with incredible, well-kept original interiors, and if you look after ours, you know, they'll last indefinitely.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Right, should we have a look at the seats?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so this is the driver's seat.
That's right.
So obviously you'll know a plexiglass car, mainly the seats supplied in those cars didn't have headrests.
That's right, yeah.
So this is actually an extra. And also plexiglass cars mainly
Didn't have pockets on the back.
Didn't have pockets on the back.
You can see on this one.
Yeah, great.
So the only comfort in this car would have been a little lever on the side which moved the seat runner probably 1.5 inches, so you had tilt on it. But that was the luxury of the day.
Yeah, and for a tall gentleman that would have been a very important extra because
absolutely.
There's not that much room. Although it's quite a big car, there's actually not that much room in one of these. If you're 6'2", 6'3", your head is on the ceiling.
So they look stunning. We should go and fit them to the car. As you know, Jeremy, the seat levers go forwards and backwards, always sits close to the tunnel on these.
Yeah.
Quite often you see them on the wrong side.
It's a great combination, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah,
so how many man hours would you think total job?
Around 200, but then that's all depend on when you peel the dash off and the layer of fiberglass comes off. If the seat foams need redoing, and again, steering wheel, the insides can be. So there's a lot of float in the Daytona interior. There's not like a standard hour where, yeah, that one's going to be, because there's so much difference in deterioration in them.
It's looking absolutely fantastic. I think the owner is very excited to get it on the road and do some miles in it. Well, thanks very much for doing such a great job looking after us.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.